Hello. Today I am going to talk about why I have chosen astrology. Um, what what is going on in that regard? Well, I'm a tarot card reader and I'm deeply configured in the eighth house, but I'm also somebody my sun is in the ninth house, which is ruled by Jupiter, and generally speaks of our higher knowledge or our spirituality or whatnot. And for me, I started really not watching TV in the news maybe about 5 years ago, because I felt like we were becoming increasingly angry as humans, and we were saying things as humans that were increasingly troubling. And so myself, at that time, I started thinking that I need to look at things differently. So what I did is I started deeply following tarot only for my news, because in some funny way I felt like it was the only place I could turn that I would get an answer to something that I was thinking was not quite right. I felt like when I watched TV, that I would turn on the TV and there would always be this energy that was designed to yank me into the story and keep me feeling like things were really not in control and dark. And so, it doesn't take long if you listen to yourself to realize that maybe watching the news is a depressing event and that maybe you don't like it so much. And so, that's pretty much what happened to me. I got to the point where I was really questioning why the information that comes across the screen is presented in such negative or concluding ways. In some ways, it's like you listen to it and you think, okay, well, yeah, I guess my voice doesn't count. And for me, it just became depressing that we're not a country that's all inclusive and deeply diverse. And of course, I'm an astrologer now. I'm wrapping up my first year. I just finished the reading that I had for the final 6 lectures, and well, that feels like quite a big victory to me. But what I'm learning is what we utter out of our mouths is not what another has done to you or said to you or what you may accuse them of. What you utter out of your mouth is how you see life. And I found that notion confounding yet deeply truthful. And I am somebody from very early on in life. I've struggled to just have life. My home life was less than optimal, but I found ways to survive myself and to remake myself and to be here today. But not without consequence, I want to say. I grew up in a home where religion was the soup du jour. Now, mind you, now when I say that, I'm not saying that my parents practiced it. They demanded it of us, and that's different than practicing it. We didn't necessarily see the two going together. So, as a child and growing up, I had various experiences of knowing, like popping out of my body and seeing a dear friend of mine in a horrible car accident, dead in real time. I popped out of my body. I remote viewed. I saw circumstances in that particular accident that were very particular to that accident. And so always for me, things have been a little bit different, and how my family has accounted for that is they have referred to me as a seer or a prophet. But trust me, even there are issues. For me to see and say I see comes with the question of who am I actually hearing from, what am I listening to, and am I safe? This is a constant question that I get about being a tarot card reader. So, and there's some desire to help me overcome this fantasy of mine of being somebody who reads symbols. Well, and is a seer. I've always been a seer, I'm always going to be a seer, and I will always be a seer. So that nothing will change that. What I guess where I'm at now with this is that being an astrologer and a tarot card reader, it comes with blowback. And what is blowback? Well, it is someone else's opinions, religious or otherwise, that say that what I do isn't valid, and that, which I find that deeply a conundrum. That you know, for those that are in my life that feel this way, it's hard for me to understand. And I'm making this video today because I feel like I've heard enough from those that love me that they're concerned about my well-being, my spirituality, my connection to my Creator. And in that sense, I want to provide my family, my viewers, a sense of relief. I chose astrology because I think it most closely depicts the truth about how we emotionally come and go, and the influences the stars have on us as we come and go. The parallels are utterly clear in my mind. I can look at things that happened in my life and know factually that in fact it's written, and I can see it in my natal chart or in a synastry chart. I can see myself. I can make sense out of what my weaknesses are and my strengths. And spiritually, I suspect that we haven't been told enough for us to really be sure of anything. And so, it is upon us as humans and spiritual beings to seek our truths and to live those truths we seek. And so, here I am today, and I'm saying that I believe that astrology and tarot is a very constructive and good use spiritually for connecting to the other side. Now, I realize that we live in a world that tells us that we go to one, generally male, and of course, you know, generally XYZ homogeneous. We keep it all like looking the same. And we're to get our information there, and we're to be satisfied spiritually that that's enough. Well, I can tell you I've gone to church for a lot of years. And I'm going to admit that I question a good deal of it because, well, I feel like a process that encourages self-righteousness, a process that encourages a building and more money for the building, and doesn't feed the hungry or the poor. It doesn't pick the low-lying fruit. I question whether or not that's really what it says it is. And just as a practical matter, I question that. So I chose astrology because, well, I feel like it's my responsibility as a human to ask questions and to find answers, to seek answers, and make sense out of life the best I am able. So, with that, what I am going to do simply today is I am going to, because this is such a loaded issue in some ways, as we are human, and we want salvation, and we think going to church and keeping our fire policy paid will somehow buy us some kind of extra something with our maker, which, you know, I'm sorry, but if you think that, it's probably something that you might want to rethink. I think that being a good human and feeding the hungry and caring for those who are less fortunate than yourself, being a part of the solution, has probably more to do with you getting somewhere with your fire policy than showing up once a week on Sunday without any real conscious thought about what's happening. So, you know, I mean, I'm not down and on religion because, well, religion got me to where I'm at today in all kinds of ways. I have deep abiding faith. I believe deeply in a higher good. I believe that I was created out of stardust from somewhere far away, and that I'm I'm made up of many different parts, that no one thing makes me who I am, that I have many aspects of myself that make me whole. And with astrology, I attempt in my own way to bring those pieces together and make sense out of the bones and the cloth of my own soul. So today what we will use is, I just did my shuffling. I'm going to move the camera around again so that I capture everything, and then we will go from there. Okay, so we're going to do the cards. We're asking the question, it's tarot and astrology. The divineness of it. Is this a good way to connect to spirit? You know, I'm hearing, mixed messages. I'm hearing from my people that love me that, they're worried for my soul. And, we have limited information, and so it's understandable, but it's kind of one of those pesky problems we get in life, and don't really like it. Okay, so I got my 5 cards. I'm going for my 6th card with the cut, so I'll cut 3 times. There's 1, 2. I got a plant playing with me. How beautiful is that, folks? And 3. Providing me divine inspiration all around me. And what do we got? We got the Page of Wands. Yes, the cards are here to tell us, and astrology is here to tell us. I'm going to move the camera just straighten over. Okay, it's here to tell us that, yeah, we're okay. We're not, this is our foundation, and there's no harm. I realize that we've been told, by the church that, it's a one-man operation, that the man prays to God and he represents you. And well, is that really true? Is that really how it is, or is that just what we're told it is? Well, I choose to question, okay? And wow, I've done this reading. I've had some issues, and it's funny that I get the same or similar cards, or the same meanings, essentially. And what does it start out with after the foundation? It starts out with a star, that you've got to have some kind of way to be guided forward. And, is there anything wrong with religion as a way to guide you forward? Absolutely not. It's for those who need it, and if it brings you to a sense of well-being and connectedness, then it's exactly what you need, and there's nothing wrong with it. But understand that, we all are unique and divinely different. We all have a different reason for being, and our unique callings, in the most simplest of terms, need to be respected first and foremost. Okay, so for me, astrology and tarot, it's a calling. It's what I'm gifted at, and and my natal chart says so. And for me, it's quite confirming. Now, I didn't start reading tarot, I didn't start astrology and then do tarot. I was a tarot reader. I was a symbol reader. I've been a symbol reader my entire life. I'm very calculating that way. I pay attention to what things look like and how I feel about them, and the numbers. If I feel like they mean something, I pay attention to that. Okay, and for someone to think that I am harmed in any way by this is a lovely card to see. That's illusionary and delusionary. There is nothing wrong with what I'm doing. And in fact, there's probably more right, because what is the opposite of wrong? Right. Right? There's nothing at all that I am doing that is going to bring me harm to my soul. And so, if something happens to me and, and I slip on out, I want my family to be able to look back and see this and know that I answered their questions, and that I cared about their concerns, and that I want to meet their needs this way, but that I also have to meet my own needs, and some of my needs are different than their needs. And I'm not even sure that we're all exactly, XYZ, XYZ. I mean, maybe we're not. Maybe we come from other planets. Maybe we're multi-planeted species on one planet. I don't know. But for me, I couldn't take the simple explanation anymore. I felt like it wasn't truthful. I felt like it was a lie. And so for me, the way things were presented, I felt like it wasn't truthful enough for me. It didn't carry enough to tell me this planet's 5,000 years old when we can do science that says the planet's like you know, in the billions of years of range. You know, don't try to sell me a cigar when, you know, when I don't smoke. Okay, I don't buy it. Okay, and for me, you know, my anchor card. Okay, because my reading is really these two cards. You know, this information that I provide, right? And for me, it's also about providing a way forward for myself, because, well, you know, it took me a while to decide I wanted to do something career-wise in some deeper, meaningful sense besides being a caregiver, a grandma, a mother, and so on and so forth. It took me a few years to decide that maybe I wanted to branch out and become more than I was before. I wanted to add to my personal repertoire of things that I could do and contribute to society. And, well, that's what I'm doing. And I'm coming out and I'm making it a public affair. I'm saying, here I am, folks. I'm hanging my shingle, and I do this for a living. This is my career now, is astrology and tarot. And like I said, I've worked hard for it. And I've heard other tarot card readers say, you know, that they are not comfortable unless it comes from a tarot card, and I don't altogether disagree with that, because, you know, there's some real issues right now with the way we are presented information. We're real easy to manipulate. We're all kind of real gullible, and we accept information from our government as if it's gospel truth. And, well, and from our church, you know, because this could be the Pope for all I know, or that, you know, this is high governmental organization, the Hierophant, you know, the 10th house. This is Saturn, you know, about limitations, but in a highly organized way. You know, we've been told things that essentially takes us back to this illusion and delusion card. We've been gaslit, okay, and I think we've been gaslit to the point that we're, you know, a lot of us don't know what's true and what isn't true. But I think that astrology and tarot, in some regards, it does offend the government or the highly organized, because it is a form of thinking outside the box, and it isn't something that another can really control or manage as a process. Oh, I can't believe I did this. I hope that you can hear me. Oh my goodness, I tell you, being sick is just not fun. It comes with so many little details. I forget to put my mic on, I forget to turn my camera on, I forget to do this. It's just, I will be glad when, if I can get my stuff under control, and, you know, that would be lovely. But here we go. You know, we have this government organization that tells us things, keeps us kind of gaslit, okay? And for me, divining is a way around it, okay? My common sense, my spidey senses tell me 90% of what I hear is probably not exactly true. If it's on Facebook, it's probably not true. I mean, you know, I could go on and on, but we are a society that is pretty gullible, and we buy this real simplified story, whether we should or should not. But here we go. It's the Page of Pentacles. How we see things in the object sense is changing right now. We are starting to question some things. You know, I can't be the only one that decided that for me, I'm just not going to tune into a brain box that's trying to hypnotize me into buying things I don't need, and declare a position that I don't really believe in, you know. And I think that we're all highly vulnerable to that particular energy when we tune into it. So with that, I would really be delighted if you would hit the, I'm going to put my camera up, the like, share, and subscribe button, and join myself and my lovely co-reader, Pearl Rowland, over on www.twiggy.com. And if there's, you know, things, shoot us a question. I'm on Facebook, Twiggy by Design. And if, you know, I do a daily reading for the collective every single day. And that collective reading, I started out for myself, and then my co-reader, and then somebody else. And it was becoming clear that it was a good collective reading. So that's how that has developed. And those readings are basically kind of a point for me that I'm using to heal my body. I talk to myself daily.